Hello, and welcome to Father and Son, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Keith, and this is my dad, Kerwin.
Thank you for joining us again. We are here to discuss spoiler review episode 4 of Star Wars The Bad Batch. This episode is called Corner, where we left off with the team. They are still on the run. They're trying to find a place to hide, but they're running out of fuel and they're running out of food. So they have to land in the next closest planet, which is called Pantora.
Yeah, I think it was in the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. Very good. And then on Pantora, Tech and Wrecker decides to stay behind, get some repairs done, get some fuel for the ship, while Hunter, Omega go into the city to Echo, and go into the city to try to find food. What they're doing is taking their valuables that they have and exchanging them for credits so they can buy food. And like any little child will do when you're in a new place, never before seen, you are fascinated by what's happening, what's going on around you. Omega decides to wander off without telling Hunter. Once Hunter turns around and realizes that Omega's gone, he starts to panic. So Omega loses her way and she ends up in the hands of Fennec Shand.
Now, if you've watched The Mandalorian, you might remember Fennec Shand. But to those of you who didn't, Fennec Shand is a bounty hunter who Boba Fett found her and helped her, and then she started to work for him. She was in The Mandalorian, and she helped the Mandalorian find Grogu again.
Yeah, now this is interesting because Fennec Shand, she is a bounty hunter, right? She works for whoever hired her to do an assignment. We don't really know if she's a good person or a bad person.
She's kind of neutral.
She's kind of
whoever
neutral.
gives her the most money, she'll go with that.
That's what it's about. That's what bounty hunting is all about, right? It's about the money.
Just making a hot buck.
Exactly. So once Hunter finds Omega in the hands of Fennec Shand, Hunter starts to panic, and Fennec Shand also starts to panic and grabs Omega and kidnaps her. And then pursuit takes place. And let me just step back and talk about the planet Pantara. It's a beautiful. I'm sorry, Pantora. It's a beautiful planet. It reminds me so much of Coruscant. With the flying vehicles. It's a city planet.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. Right. It looks so much like Coruscant. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it.
Right. And then what I was also going to say is this is another planet that is now occupied by the Empire, right?
Right. We saw that same hollow message about the J codes and stuff.
Exactly. So
and they like to loop it apparently.
Right.
Because it's the only video they have.
That's true.
they can't show a good movie.
No.
They can't show like Attack of the Clones.
No, they're trying to keep their budget costs down. So they're showing the same person over and over, talking about exchanging their invaluable credits for Imperial credits.
Wouldn't that cost more money to loop the video than to actually show something else?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's, all you're doing is just showing the same thing over and over and over. And people are in the streets and they're watching this video, right? And they're excited. They are very excited with the Empire taking over, but I don't think they're aware of exactly the big picture of what's going on. But let's get back to Hunter and Fennec Shand. Fennec Shand grabs Omega and puts her in one of these flying speeder vehicles. Hunter finds a person on a speeder bike, knocks him off the speeder bike, takes the speeder bike and flies off and look for Fennec Shand and Omega. Now, by the way, let me just say, anything with speeder bikes in it, I'm on, right? It's exciting. From the first time I saw a speeder bike in Return of the Jedi, I love speeder bikes. So give me a speeder bike anytime, any day.
Now, actually, this scene felt like it was combined with the speeder bike chase for Return of the Jedi, and then that attack on Coruscant when Obi-Wan and Anakin were looking for that bounty hunter.
That's a good point, right?
Right, it looks like they were kind of merged because Hunter's got the speeder bike and Fennec Shand has got. She just jumps.
Yeah, if the scene felt familiar, right? Because the same thing happened in the beginning of Attack of the Clones where they have this chase in the skies. So that's the same thing that's taking place here. It was very exciting. It was well shot. And, it ends up where, as a matter of fact, we're talking about Return of the Jedi. Hunter pulls Luke Skywalker move where he puts the speeder bike in reverse and destroys the vehicle from behind, the one that Fennec Shand is in, but she was able to escape. She's fine. She's perfect. And
this is why she lived to the Mandalorian.
Right. And the moral of the story is Hunter was able to save Omega. They get back to the ship and they take off on to their next location, whatever that may be for next week.
Yeah.
One thing I can say about this episode, it was a very good episode. I don't think it really moved the plot forward all that much.
Right. We did see Fennec Shand for the first time.
True. Mm-hmm.
But I felt like we could have seen a lot more of the Empire.
Yeah.
I want to know what Crosshair is doing.
Exactly. That's the part I miss about the Empire. Now, I really wanted to see what's going on with the Empire, because what's happening there is
it's really important.
Yeah, it's revolutionizing what's going to take place with the Empire going forward. So I'm I'm looking forward to seeing what the Empire has in store. So hopefully we'll see them next week. But this was still a good episode.
Yeah,
this was a very good episode. And again, well, the big question is, let me finish up the ending of it. So
Who hired Fennec Shand?
Exactly. So Fennec Shand, takes a call, and she's talking to the person who hired her and said, well, I lost the target, but don't worry, I'll find her.
It's not a call. She has a comm link, which they probably have to be on Pandora, because I don't think comm links can send signals into space, fly miles per hour, and then onto another planet.
I see. Okay.
I think they just work short range.
All right. So we'll call it communication. All right. Between comlink. So between the person who hired her. So the question now is, who hired her? I think it's the Kaminoans. Yes.
Most likely it was either them or the Empire, but since the Kaminoans are working for the Empire, it's basically one and the same.
Yeah, I really do believe the Kaminoans have something to do with it, because on the last episode they talked about creating this clone, a clone that's going to be even better and bigger than the clones that were created using Jango Fett's DNA. Right. So they wanted to get this enhanced clone. And I think they want to use Omega's DNA to create this new enhanced clone.
Most likely, because they were saying that Jango Fett's DNA got exhausted, so they needed some new material.
Exactly.
Omega's probably the one they're going to be going after.
Oh, there you go.
What do you think? Let us know on your Facebook page.
Right.
Or our Facebook page.
Absolutely. Who do you think hired Fennec Shand to go after Omega? Let us know.
And who do you think they're going after next for DNA?
Good point. All right. That is the end of our episode.
Yep.
All right.
To those of you who listen to our podcast, we're on YouTube as well, so please subscribe to our channel. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Audible, Amazon Music, and basically wherever you get your podcasts. I can't name them all. Right. I forgot most of them.
So please subscribe on YouTube, and like us on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page as well. So thank you very much for joining us for this episode, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until then, take care.